Thanks for joining me for this week's quick business tip. I'm Jennifer. If you are tired of posting on social media like a crazy person and not seeing your post result in sales, then this episode is for you. Today, we're going to focus on creating this magnetic marketing messages and content for social media that not only grab the attention of your ideal customer, but also converts those viewers into buyers. So it's not news to you that we are constantly bombarded with content every second of every day, whether it's on social media, radio, TV, just driving down the road, emails that come into your inbox, there's constantly messages being thrown at you. And it's easy for our carefully crafted content that we post on social media to just become lost in all of the noise. So that's the problem that we're all dealing with, right? And if your content is not cutting through all of the other clutter that's out there, you're not going to reach those potential clients and you end up leaving money on the table. Not to mention all the time and energy that you are wasting on social media content that just isn't converting. So, in case you're wondering whether or not you're in this social media chaos, here's what some of this can look like. When you are posting just for the sake of posting. So a lot of people feel pressured just to keep up. They're told to post 2 or 3 times a day, certainly once every weekday. And they're doing it not because they want to serve their customer, but because they just feel like they have to. And that is when the content really lacks a clear message and purpose. Now, a lot of times I see this when people just start throwing up a lot of these feel-good quotes or memes, and those can be inspirational and they can really maybe pick you up a little bit. But if that's not your area of expertise, and if these posts, no matter how good they make someone feel, if it's not speaking to your ideal client and it's not related to the problem that you solve for your ideal client, these aren't going to convert into sales for you. And if you're posting without any sort of purpose or strategy to convert those viewers into buyers, then why are you spending so much time posting on social media? Here's another way that you can identify social media chaos. When your posts look a lot like the me show, it's all about you, your services. There's no real value to your audience. There's no connection to your audience. And the harsh reality is nobody really cares about you. What they do care about is how you can make their life better. What problem can you solve for them? What can you do to make their life easier, to save them time, or to make them money? So instead of all about you, the awards and everything else, make it about how you can help them. Another way that you're contributing to social media chaos is when you fall into the clickbait trap. You use sensational headlines that don't deliver on the promise that's in the headline. We've all seen these posts, but eventually this is going to wear away any kind of trust that you might have built with your audience. And then there's just the generic stuff. Your content sounds like everyone else's, and it makes it super forgettable and ineffective. Now, a lot of times I see these posts that are generated one of two ways. They're either generated by AI or they were purchased from a program that is being sold to hundreds of thousands of people. And if you take that stuff, whether it's AI or someone else who's generated like a content calendar for you and everyone else in your niche, and you don't add your own unique spin to that and your own heartfelt message, then you kind of fall into this social media chaos that's not really going to generate any results. So, are you able to relate to any of these social media chaotic tendencies that it's super easy to fall into? I know I've done it. I've purchased the social media calendar thing just to see what it is, and because I honestly thought that it might save me time. The reality is that that content, while not lacking value, wasn't me. It didn't have my voice, and trying to rewrite all of it to fit my voice, my brand, my audience ended up being more work than just sitting down with a topic of contents and writing content from there. And when I did sit down with a list of content topics and really wrote the content in a way that I saw as being of service to my clients or potential clients, that is when my engagement really took off. I saw a huge boost not only in likes and comments, which are great, but they don't pay the bills. But I also saw a lot of inbound messages from qualified leads. And, as with anything, when you start to see results and you see that time and energy pay off, it makes it really easy to keep doing what you've been doing and doing it well because you know that it's going to be something that really makes a difference. So let's talk about how you can create content that people really care about. I have 5 ways that you can get this done. First, you need to get inside their head. So, who is your dream client? Like, who are they really deep down? Go way beyond the demographics and get into the psychographics. Talk about their desires, their fears, their dreams, and use whatever language they use to describe their problem. Do not take what you have heard them say to you in your conversations with them and then reword it and manipulate it and twist it and put it into your words. If you use the words that your clients are using before they started using your services, that is going to more deeply resonate with other potential buyers that are feeling the same feelings, thinking the same things, having those same kind of fears, problems, pain points. The second tip is to first agitate and then solve. So you can talk about a problem, you can highlight a problem, but when you then sort of agitate it, tell a story, make the reader or the listener feel that emotion, that pain that comes with that problem, and then position yourself, your product, your service as the solution to that problem. And go back into that emotional state again and talk about what their life looks like after they have used your service or product. The third tip I have is to act as though you are the guide. So you want to position yourself as an expert who empathizes, understands, and really knows the struggle that they're going through. And you have a way to help them out of that struggle and help them start to reach their goals. The fourth tip for creating content that people care about is to just really be vulnerable, be authentic, show off your personality. People are wanting to see your quirks, your humor, and your passion shine through. This is something that cannot be created with any kind of AI. They really want to see that you are human. And even if some of that humanness is making mistakes, stumbling over words, pausing in weird spots when you're doing video conversations like this, that's okay because people relate to that. And when it comes down to it, you are a human selling to another human. And the fifth tip is super easy. Mix things up. Um, think about your social media content like a buffet, right? So we don't want to see just all the same vegetables on the buffet. We want a variety of things that keep people coming back and trying new and different things. So this can be sharing tips, client wins, your own personal stories that relate to your client and the problem that you can solve for them. And maybe even some behind the scenes look at some of your processes. If you are doing something that you can really make your imagery shine through. A lot of interior designers, custom home builders can do this so easily and so well, and it looks so nice on social media. So those are the 5 ways that you can really start creating content for your business that is going to create the engagement, build the trust, and eventually over time, it's going to convert into sales. Um, Here are a few tips. Once you sort of have a general idea of content, how are you going to go about creating something that really triggers people to take some kind of an action? The first thing that you need to do is focus on scroll stopping headlines. And a great way to do this is to use numbers, like 5 ways to do this, 3 things that are costing you money in your business. You can also add questions. So, are you tired of feeling stuck? Are you struggling with? And another scroll stopping headline technique is to create urgency. So you can say that there's a limited time offer on something, that, this is only a few hours before the end of the week. You have to act today. Um, Another way that you can create content that really converts is to keep things concise, because people's attention spans are short. I am pretty sure the goldfish that I had when I was 5 years old have a longer attention span than most adults today. So you need to get to the point really quickly and deliver the value in a bite-sized format. Great way to do this is to break up paragraphs into 3 or 4 individual lines to make your post easier to read on mobile devices, since that's where most people are consuming their social media. Don't forget to add a call to action. So you don't want to just put some stuff out there and then leave your audience hanging. People want to be told exactly what to do. This is why I love having the equivalent of a buy now button all throughout your homepage and quite possibly on a lot of your other interior pages. Now, when you're on social media, your call to action can be a lot of different things. You can tell them to visit your website, to book a call with you, join your email list, comment below a certain word, so that they can receive a free item or something along those lines. Remind them to follow your account, because sometimes you're going to show up in a feed and they're not actually followers. And if they don't take that action, they're not going to continue to see your content. You can tell them to share with friends. There's lots of things that you can do outside of the buy now kind of situation. You want to encourage them to take action, to start a conversation and allow you to build that relationship with them. Don't forget to make your social post visually appealing. So use high quality images. And right now, summer of 2024, photos of real people. So whether that's people on your team, photos of yourself, photos of you in action doing the work that you do, photos of happy clients, whatever that is, those photos of people where you can see their face, those kind of posts are creating a lot more engagement now than some of the other posts. So I would really encourage you to make sure you get high quality photos of yourself and your team on a regular basis. So this is going to be at least twice a year, ideally once a quarter. I am not a photography type of person, but I have seen the difference that it makes in my own business. It's totally worth doing, no matter how much you hate it, because that's what people are attracted to right now. And the last tip that I have for you is super important. It's talked about it's consistency. So you don't want to post randomly, right? You need to create a plan and make sure that you follow it. Now, I tell all of my clients that if they are not posting a minimum of 3 times a week, they're really wasting their time, because here's the reality. Even someone who is following you is going to see 1 out of every 5 posts. So what I like to do is encourage my clients, if that's at all possible, to post 5 times a week, because that means that everyone that follows their feed is going to see probably 1 post. A lot of people think 5 is overwhelming, that they're going to be annoying, that people are going to start unfollowing them because they're posting too much. But here are some things that you need to understand. Again, the 1 to 5 rule. Let's keep this in mind. And if you are posting things that are of value to your audience, so these can be helpful tips, resources, things that are not just look at me, I'm amazing, and buy this. That's not going to be annoying. People are going to love it. If you see your social media as a way to serve your clients, that is going to be super powerful, and you will end up getting business from it in the long run. The good news here is that consistency does not mean posting 2 to 3 times every day. I've heard a lot of people say that they were told to do this by experts, and I don't recommend it. As a matter of fact, if the platform that you're posting on is LinkedIn, if that is where your target audience is spending most of their time, and you are posting more than once a day, you are actually doing more harm than good. So the engagement that you might have on a single post is going to be spread out over those 2 or 3 posts. That's just the way the LinkedIn algorithm is working right now. So LinkedIn really just wants you to post 1 day a week. In addition to that, what LinkedIn really wants you to do is also to engage with other people's content. And that's where a lot of people drop the ball. I have other videos about engagement on social media, and I have a free worksheet that teaches you how to do it in just 20 minutes a day. If you would like that information, DM me. You can find me on all the socials, and I'd be happy to send that to you at no charge. So, content converts isn't about being everywhere. It's about being incredibly intentional with what you're posting, where you're posting, and how often you're posting it. It's also about serving your audience first and really knowing who you want to attract so that you're able to create a message that clearly resonates with them and attracts the perfect clients who are excited to work with you. One simple step that you can do today is to go ahead and make the commitment to yourself. If you haven't been consistent with your social media, decide today how often you are going to post every week and commit to doing that for at least 90 days. Now, it is highly unlikely that you are going to see sales immediately, like within the first 2 weeks. But if you start being consistent with your social media practice and you stay consistent for 90 days, you will start seeing a difference, seeing more engagement. And if you really start to implement more and more of some of the steps and tips that we covered today, you will see a lot more of those conversations and those engagements converting into sales. Thanks for joining me for this week's quick business tip. I'm Jennifer with Limitless Impact Agency.